I'll just wait like 1 or 2 more minutes, get some people in here, and then we'll start.
So does Twitch tell you the delay?
There's a delay. I'm not
You can
sure
have
exactly
it
how
now.
long it is. It's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
It's not very long. You can make it none, I'm pretty sure now.
Oh, you can? You're gonna have to let me know how that happens.
I don't know if it's just partner only or whatever, but you might be
No,
able
like
to.
would OBS tell you how long, like based on the connection and stuff, like potentially how long the delay could be?
It's always the same, pretty much. Alright.
Alright, let's get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Beastcast. I am the Beast, your host, Abby. On this episode, I've got a few, like everyone here is a new guest. I have two dark-sided players, Somniac and Waz. What's up, boys?
What's going on? Som is just not there.
Is Som there? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for being on the show. And I also have it's Chiefs FC, right?
Yeah, Chiefs Esports Club. We just call it Chiefs.
Chiefs BKSama on the show as well. Another sponsored player. What's up, my dude?
Hello, how are you?
Oh god, I forgot to turn off notifications. Anyway, I'll do that later. So, like, we're gonna be riffing on a lot. Mainly, we're gonna talk about the EVO that we just came from in America. Might touch a few other subjects, but yeah. Before we do that, since you guys are all new to the podcast, we just like to get a small intro, like for those who might not know who you are. Most people do, just in case. We'll start with yourself, what games you play, and how you got into fighting games. Just keep it brief.
I play everything that's popular. So I'm playing Dragon Ball and Street Fighter V at the moment, and I started back when the arcades was around.
Nice. Yourself, was what games you play?
Pretty much the same as Som. I play pretty much everything that's popular as well. Mostly an NRS background, but only been playing for around two-ish years now. So yeah, trying to branch out now and like try other games like Dragon Ball and Street Fighter as well.
And yourself, BK?
So main game Street Fighter V. Been playing a bit of Dragon Ball on the side with DD and stuff, just because I like the general mechanics. It reminds me of Marvel.
Yep.
When I first started, probably like 09, I was on Long Warrior. Then I went to Urchin. Just watching the finals got me hooked from then. Yeah.
Nice. So there's our brief intro. Sorry, guys. Like, we'll get a more detailed backstory behind all you guys later down the track. But we're here for EVO. Let's start off with the venture behind getting there. From memory, BK, you and Som had to play each other for the qualifying spot. For those that don't know, at BAM, I think the highest placing Australian for Street Fighter, Smash, and Tekken all got a free trip to EVO. And you guys were equal from memory, so you had to play each other?
Yep. So we got equal 7th or 8th. And then we had to play Festa 3. Some won 3-0, so he got the ticket.
Yeah.
I ended up still going just because my sponsors were sending me anyway.
Nice.
But I guess I could have used that trip for like something else.
And
that's crazy that you guys had to play. That's actually crazy. I didn't even know that.
Some had a better chance of winning the whole thing because he almost beat Niblet, whereas me, like, I had no chance against Valor.
I told him just share it between us, but they didn't want to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, that was real righteous of you, Som. Looking out for your fellow brethren. Waz, yourself, you just had plans to go to EVO?
Yeah, because I knew, like, 100%, like, you know, everyone talks about EVO. It's like the tournament you have to go to at least once. And I already went to Combo Breaker this year, so I was like, I need to go to another one. And EVO was looking like the best one for that. Because, like, EVO's where, like, everyone makes their breakthrough performance. So I'm like, there's no reason not to go, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like and it was first time for you as well, right?
Yeah, first Evo and first time like flying to American stuff by myself, which was pretty weird,
Mm-hmm.
but it's pretty cool.
Well, by yourself, but you pretty much had a lot of Aussies went this time round.
Yeah. Heaps of Aussies, man. I was surprised because when I went to Common Break, it was just me and Googie. That was it. There was like no other Aussies really.
Mm-hmm. So let's start off with all the games we played. What games did you enter? It's not your first Evo experience, is it?
It's I think my fifth.
Oh wow,
time
you're
of-
very seasoned.
Damn, this man lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went consecutive years from 2010 to 2015. Sorry, 2014,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took a long break and went back this year.
Okay, given that you've had so much
Yeah.
experience, like, or after detailing what games you played and how you went, how did this Evo compare to the ones you've been to?
Well, I played Dragon Ball and Street Fighter V, and I went comparatively shit to my expectations.
Oh wow.
And then I entered Ultra and I got ninth, which I haven't really practiced for, so I'm kind of redeemed a little bit there.
Mm.
And this Evo, it's a lot bigger than the previous years.
Yep.
It was pretty cool. I bought a lot of stuff, and I went to the finals, which was pretty cool. The finals arena,
Mm-hmm.
which that wasn't the case in previous years. It was like you had to sit down on the floor in previous years to watch the final, but this time I had seats.
Yeah, the finals day, like I can't imagine what it would have been like when you've gone years ago, but right now it's a massive spectacle. It's a huge
It's
experience.
crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, previous years we still had the big stage and everything, but you weren't going to sit down if you wanted to be up the front or even close to it. You had to be sitting in a pit of people.
It wasn't at Mandalay Bay Arena, was it? The same venue, just a different room or something?
The finals this year was in the same venue, but I think previously it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm just starting to recall vague images of like the finals day, but yeah, it was nothing like the
I thought it
arena
was
it
just
is
the
today.
same as like the stages for like Saturday top 8s. I thought that's where it was. I don't know.
For the
No,
other
no.
games that didn't make finals day.
Finals
Yeah, I
day
thought
for
the Sundays like
and-
in the old Evos were the same.
Oh yeah, they were the same area for the
Yeah.
old Evos.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so
But last year there was some controversy because they moved it to another completely different venue.
last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah.
Who did you lose to some in Street Fighter?
Yeah, I don't want to bring up like you said you had a disappointing run, and I don't want to bring up like too much of a heartbreak of your experience, but yeah.
Hey man, this is the recap. This is the real stuff.
Yeah,
Right
this
here.
is the recap, so
I lost to MOV. It was kind of weird because like he was really excited to beat me.
Oh really?
But I wouldn't have expected that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's like super happy that he beat me.
Mhm.
And the way that I lost to him was like I don't know, maybe I respected him too much.
Mhm.
Or I didn't respect him enough because he'd reversal a lot and try to just jump out of things.
Yeah.
I wasn't like planning for that. I was expecting a bit more defense.
Solid. Yeah.
And then in losers, I lost to a random cami.
As a lot of people did.
Classic. Yeah. A lot of people lost to Kami at Evo.
And he was also super excited to beat me, but then he lost immediately after.
Mm.
That's the worst.
That's a shame because I'm looking at your pool. Like I'm not too familiar with like all all the names in Street Fighter. Like MOV does ring a bell. But what did you
Valmaster.
think? What did you think of the competition? Like when your pool got announced?
Well, actually, that wasn't my pool. I was preparing for a completely different one,
Oh,
and
really?
they moved
You
me
got
in
done like
last
that?
minute. So I had Cien from Texas. He
Mhm.
plays Jury,
Yep.
and I was confident to beat him because I fight against Jury all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then they moved my pool like the day before.
Oh, that's rough. I did not know about that.
And for Dragon Ball, I had no real expectations. I'm still learning it, so I pretty much lose to anyone who can mash.
Your general thoughts on the game? Like, still willing to give it a go?
If no one was playing it, neither would I.
Okay. Okay. Well, you did say you are playing popular games, so yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's like there's no Marvel game and people are playing it, so I may as well play it. Yeah, it's frustrating though. Like, yeah.
All right. BK, since we're still on the Street Fighter side of things, detail us on your run and how you went.
So for my pool, there was pretty much like 2 big names, I guess, or 3.
Yeah.
The Taiwanese Laura player that plays KOF, what's his name? Broly Legs, and then Snake Eyes. So against Snake Eyes, I played him on stream. I just rewatched my match. It was pretty bad, just because I was so focused on anti-airing on a certain way where urine, that's probably like the most optimal, but you have to be really specific on the angle.
Yep.
And that's with crouching heavy. But the problem with that anti-air, it doesn't have like a very good vertical hitbox. So you have to be really precise on when you want to do it. If he does jump too close, you will obviously have to walk under. And depending on how much you walk under, that could still like fuck you up. Because if you don't walk back enough, it still clips you behind the head. So I should have just like not be stubborn, use like a shitty anti-air, and just to deter him away from like jumping so much. Other than that, and then
Just curious, who did he play?
Oh, he played Akuma.
Akuma, yeah.
And like I'd rather him play Akuma than Abigail because I'm more confident in the Akuma matchup, just because like Akuma still beats Urine, but Urine can rob Akuma, whereas against Abigail, Urine pretty much like still has to play like solid all the way around because Abigail can rob Urine away.
Yeah.
Back. And from there, I lost right after. I should have taken a break, but I was so like tilted.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to jump into my next match. So I asked her.
Because you know, like you can request for a break.
Yeah. So I went back to my station, back in the pools area, and just asked, "Oh, who am I playing next?" All right, him. And then my next, he pointed at the guy. It was a Gala player. I beat him like pretty badly, like 4 rounds straight. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be fine." But
wait, you played him before?
Yeah, I beat him in winners. Like it was pretty bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, you played him in your yeah.
It was really special too, because the way his arcade stick, right? His buttons are on the left and his joystick is on the right.
What the hell?
Yeah, so I was like left-handed player. Anyways, yeah, I didn't think of much going into it, and pretty much I tried to end it quickly just so I can get my run back or like get out of pools quickly, because like I wanted to end my day there and just get on with it. But I should have taken a break, because in that matchup I watched, I was thinking back on it. I didn't respect the goal matchup as much as I did, and just kept jumping. You know, weren't patient against the booms. And the goal matchup I know very well because I play Xavier a lot, and like, yeah, but it is a bad matchup, I guess.
That's unfortunate, man. Yeah, like I'm seeing brackets now.
So, yeah, rule of thumb. So the thing to just understand or learn from that experience is take a break. Don't rush into your next match. Even if you know the guy's like free, you never know. That guy could be playing bad the first time. And like, since you beat someone the first time, you're not gonna think much of it, right? But think of it in the other guy's perspective. He probably imagine like him have to playing me again. He would have to work harder, you know. So he probably has like the download on me now, because I just played on stream as well. So he saw how I lost and like could use that to his advantage, work on what he needs to do to prepare for his next strategy.
Yeah, not to mention, I'm looking at brackets, and this guy was on a roll. Like before he played you again, he like won 4 in a row. So he had a lot of
he probably need warming up. So,
and that's true. Like I was around for a lot of pool matches, like whatever game I was around, and a lot of people would be like, "Oh, the bracket runner would be like, "Oh, can you come up now and play?" And like, "Oh, just give me like a minute or two," so you could tell they wanted to rest or like whatever, catch their thoughts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a good point.
You know, I should have done what I did at EVO Japan. You know, every match, I had someone record it, like just a friend of mine standing there. So even if I did win or lose, I could like just like change specific things about the gameplay I was doing. Because when you're in the heat of the moment, right, you might not notice, oh, you're teching too much, you're pressing jab in this situation too much. You might not notice that or remember that. But after your match, you can watch your own video, even if you win or lose. You can think back, oh fuck, yeah, I have been doing that bit too much, and maybe someone else caught on to it, my future opponent. So if I can fix that before playing them, then you know, you're right. But yeah, I got too cocky right after my loss, and pretty tilted as well.
Unlucky, man. Happens to the best of us.
And Dragon Ball the next day, I just went into it. So funny enough, I did better in Dragon Ball than Street Fighter, just because Bardock is broken. Apparently, I should have played him from the start. But yeah, with Dragon Ball, I played it. I like the game because it reminds me of Marvel 3. I don't like a few mechanics, like Vanish should be in +1 block. Throws shouldn't be like, if they're gonna lead to such a big combo, like it should make it easier to tech as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Marvel style of throws was good because it gives both sides a chance to like throw each other back right after. Where only a few certain characters, like on throw techs, like Bardock, can just lariat you and keep his advantage. And it's not really, whereas some characters have to hold it, you know, like Adult Gohan, you can't do much after taking a throw in air. Just have to whiff air legs, but it doesn't really help. But yeah, overall, I think I like the game, yeah. Probably play it next year way more seriously.
Interesting. One thing I wanted to ask both you and Son is just how much because there was on the Tekken side of things, a lot of people came over, so there was always support. And I know like fighting games is like, it's a solo sport, but it's good to have the support. And whenever like I kept you guys in mind. Like I came over to Som, I think once after Waz had been done playing. And do you feel like if there was a lack of support, because you know you generally like, you know, you're playing at a major back home, you got some support from in the way of friends. You think that was a factor at all or not?
You can go first, Son.
Or it's just business as usual?
It was fine. I mean, I didn't really have anyone around because I was like, I had my missus with me, so most of the time it was just like walking around with her or trying to meet up with friends from America. So I actually didn't see a lot of the Aussies in general. Like I think I only saw you that one time. The entire time.
I did make a point trying to catch everyone at least once. Even sorry to quickly interrupt. It's just EVO's too big. I mean, like when you're not playing, you're watching. When you're not watching, you're catching up with international friends. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, for example, I don't think I saw Waz more than once as well. I think I ran into BK a few times, but I was doing when I wasn't playing, I was doing laps and just stopping and talking to whoever I knew.
Yeah.
But for the pools, I had like a couple of my American friends there, and it was fine, right? I think like the main reason why I lost was just I wasn't prepared at the time.
Yeah.
And I noticed some stuff about playing people that weekend is like some of the best tournament players, I can play them and lose the first 2 or 3 matches, but then I win the next like 5. And it's like, well, I can beat them, but they would have already taken me out of the tournament, right? So it's just like I need to change the early game against those kind of people. For example, the Cammy that I lost to, I don't think I'd ever lose to him normally. It was just like at EVO, I lost to him. Yeah. So it's just like making decisions at the time, you know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like, I know of a lot of players like that. Like the first 2, and it might take a while. It's just that situation, but you know, the next 8 they'll floor you. So, yeah, it's just just probably have to change up your style to suit the tournament.
In terms of like cheering and stuff, I generally like to wear headphones anyway, so
Okay.
I'm not too fussed if there's like people around.
Yeah, just thought some people like, it's like an added little bonus to have the cheering, or some people just phase it out. Some people wear the headphones, so it's not a factor. I just wanted to get your thoughts anyway.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like some people really like it, and they'll actually play without headphones as well. But for me, if I don't have headphones and I'm hearing like a lot of noise, I play real bad.
Oh, okay.
So it's like sometimes at Rambats in Melbourne, and they got no sound and stuff. I'm just like, oh, this is terrible. Yeah, so at least Evo had the headphones on a lot of the setups, and I had my own ones for Dragon Ball.
That's a mental note to fix the setups at the Rambat. Make sure they have sound. So let's go over to Waz. He's been waiting. Let's hear about your run, dude.
So
first of all, I want to hear about like your expectations leading up to Evo, since it was like the second big international tournament.
Yeah. Well, like after Common Breaker, I got like 49th, like lost in my losers final of the pool to the same person. So I was like, I wasn't too sure because I couldn't really estimate. I mean, like have expectations of how good I was in the game because I did pretty shit at Common Breaker. So I was like, is this gonna happen again? Like I didn't really know what to expect. Then I saw my pool and I was like, the only player in there really was Nubcakes, and he literally like 2 weeks before Evo like dominated everybody in an online tournament, like every top player. So I was like, I wasn't really like sure how I would go against him, and I knew he had like great experience against like every character, and I didn't really have much experience against Batman since the patch. So I was kind of like worried about facing him, obviously just because he's like so solid, and his character like does really well against Catwoman as well. So I was kind of like, I wasn't sure about him, but I still was confident I'd make it out of my pool. That was like my main goal, just like get out of pools and then go from there, because I did that combo breaker. So it was, I didn't really have expectations, but I just really wanted to get out of pools first.
Was it the same format where, because Evo has 3 people make it out of pools? Was that the same combo breaker?
Evo had Evo only had 2, I'm pretty sure.
Oh really? That would have been specific.
Yeah, for Injustice it was 2. For Injustice it was 2, but at combo breaker it was 3.
Ah, okay. Were there more entries at combo breaker?
There was basically the same.
Okay.
I think there was a little bit less, like 40 less or something. So yeah, I lost at losers final in combo breaker, but I got to losers final of my pool in Injustice at Evo, and I ended up making it out, which was like so sick. I was like, that just like made everything already like way better. And then I was like, once I made out of pools, I'm like, oh shit, like this is actually getting like, now every play is a killer. And that was like, I didn't have expectations from then on out. I was just like, just play one match at a time. And then once I saw my first match was Young Monster. He's like probably the best Wonder Woman player, like 100%. And Wonder Woman's like my worst matchup, so I was really unhappy that I had to play him. But I don't know how, I don't know what happened, but I ended up beating him 3-1. So
shout out to Halak.
Yeah, legit. And the thing was, like, Halak was legit beating me in casuals, like with Wonder Woman, like 2 weeks before Evo. So I was like, shit. Yeah, this is gonna be really hard. But I don't know. I was just playing it so well somehow, and I ended up beating him. And then at that point, I was like 4 matches away from top 8. I was like 4 wins away from top 8, and that's when it kind of hit me. I'm like, oh shit, I can actually probably make top 8, like if I just play well.
Yeah.
Because once you get to that point, it's like I feel like everybody in that top 32 is like a good candidate, like to actually make top 8. Everyone's kind of just like a killer at that point.
Yeah, I was just floating around, waiting for your matches and just watching. Yeah. Like everyone, like every off stream match is a killer.
Like everyone there from that point on is like really good, and there's no sleepers. Like everyone is just so good. So then my next match was Deoxys, and he plays Blue Beetle, so I was like kind of like half confident because we have like a few Beetle players here, but everyone knows like his Beetle is just like, it's like not the same as any other Beetle.
Yeah,
he kind of just, he's like ridiculously optimal. He has like his own unique stuff, and I ended up actually going 3-2 with him, and I was actually shocked that I even got 3-2. But once I like lost to him Man, that was like a heartbreaker. Right? Like when I first lost him, I was actually alright. I was like, I wasn't like too worried. I was like, I was still pretty happy with how I played and like the fact that it was 3-2 and I was like so close to top 8. I wasn't like too fast. Then like as like the next day came, I was like, it just hit me. I'm like, man, like that sucks so bad.
Yeah, I think that's
Because-
everyone. Like because once you realize, okay, I'm done. I'm out of the tournament, and especially if it's like your
Yeah.
main game, it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, once it hit me, because it wasn't mainly the fact I was like out of EVO. It was like I don't think there's another Injustice tournament. Assuming MK comes out next year, that I think that was like my last Injustice tournament, really, like a big one. So that's when I was kind of like, damn, like all the time into the game, and like it just now it's done. But like I'm still happy with like what I've done and like the experience I've got from it. But yeah, just for like my last Injustice tournament, I guess in terms of like international wise, I feel like I did all right. And I feel like it actually made me realize if I had more opportunities, I could definitely like do serious work in this game. But yeah, I think it was a good eye opener in terms of like the fact that I actually have the potential. Because after Common Break, I was really unsure if like I could do well or not. But Evo made me feel like I could actually be
Compete with the
consistent
top
in
guys.
America. Yeah, like 100%. Because Deoxys is probably like a top 16 player, and the fact that I like went 3-2 last hit with him was like that just made me realize I could probably legit like do really well in America if I was there consistently.
Yeah, I think
So, yeah.
I've had talks with Gilbags and like he's pretty confident like in regards to how the top NRS dudes would do internationally. It's just the experience that he feels we lack.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it's like it's not even like tournament experience. It's literally just against them. I don't know if that's what he meant or what. Like I guess we just don't have enough tournaments that are like worth something to where it's like everyone takes it super seriously and like everyone grinds really hard for it. I always felt like I've said this earlier too, that I feel like at least for NRS there isn't like a huge bunch of us like grinding like super hard, just because I guess there's not that many tournaments and I was like the only one traveling overseas, so maybe that's why the motivation's a little bit different. But that's just how I felt about the whole thing anyway.
Yeah. Well, you did get your moment. Like you got your experience. You got your stream match. Was that
Yeah.
pools or after pools?
The stream match.
Yeah.
That was like winners semi of the pool, like not even winners final.
Okay.
So like yeah, I was sick to get on stream and like actually win. That was hype. I was so happy I won on stream, and that was like a really close set as well. But yeah.
So after Injustice, you into Street Fighter, but this is a secondary, yeah.
Yeah, it was literally just like because I was at EVO and I'm like, why not just play it? Like I literally didn't even care. I ended up getting to lose the final of my pool actually, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I wasn't like too fussed about the game or anything. Like I lost and I didn't even give a shit, just because like I've never wanted to take the game too seriously. I just want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I wasn't fussed. But next time, I'll definitely enter like more games that I enjoy. I don't know. I feel like focusing on one game too much, like especially for NRS, because it's like it ends on Saturday anyway. You might as well just enter like
some
more
other
games.
That's something I want to bring up. All three of you, like you all. Like we all play a couple of games here and there, but you feel like it's almost a detriment, especially because of the scheduling of EVO. It's pretty strict. Like if you're super unlucky, you're gonna get an 8 a.m. pool. Like how bad do you think entering that many games at one tournament, especially EVO, like will affect your gameplay across the board?
BK, you can go first because I just spoke for like so long. And you guys are just
it really depends. So I think besides like Sonic Fox, Kazunoka, yeah, besides those two, like you really shouldn't like try to spread your games out too much. Those guys can like pretty much top 8 like any game they try, right? So yeah. So if you're like, I would like to say you shouldn't Like you can play other games for fun, intro for fun, you know, get tournament experience. But really, like I don't think it's really possible to become EVO champions in 2 games.
Yeah.
Spreading your game out isn't wise, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't play or you can't play it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to business, like you really do have to prioritize. Like, all right, I have Saturday. Like, do I go out play with Street Fighter guys, or do you go out play casually Dragon Ball guys? You know, like those moments will come up, and like you will have to choose, and that's where it will like
100%.
decide. Yeah, like how well you want to do in tournaments.
You want to chime in, Som?
Yeah, so basically, I play multiple games because it's just like there's not enough people in one game in Australia. So if I want to play fighting games, I feel like I need to swap between at least 2 games. And I've played more than that before, and that was kind of tough, like entering 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can definitely have like a main game and then have a sub game you don't care about as much. Otherwise, it's just kind of boring. Especially at something like EVO. Like, what if you have a really hard Street Fighter pool and you pretty much won't make it out? But then your Dragon Ball pool is like super easy and you probably can go much further, right? It's kind of like, sure, if you're Takedo and you're making a ton of money already, then you can prioritize one game. But I think kind of you can at least play 2 and it'll probably help you as well with your understanding of fighting games, because a lot of the people who are winning EVO have played multiple fighting games before.
That's
so
true.
like if you're still like learning and you're not fully complete as a player, then it's to your benefit to play multiple games and at least compete more often.
Just hypothetically though, just say you were entering like 3 games at EVO, and obviously you had priority with, just for example, let's say Street Fighter. Would you ever be in a position where like your focus was so adamant on one game where you would just DQ yourself from another one just because you feel like it would affect you?
Yeah, definitely would. This EVO, I actually didn't even sign up for Street Fighter 4 because I didn't plan to play.
Yep.
Up until I was like, when I was out of the other 2 games, I'm like, well, I want to play it now because I've got the time.
Yeah.
And I signed up last minute to get in. But otherwise, I wouldn't have played it if I was doing better.
Yeah, it makes sense because I like to branch out as well. Like I play, like the lineup for side games at EVO was actually pretty massive. I think they had every single fighting game in existence, just somewhere.
There were so many.
Yeah, I mean they had Pokken somewhere. Like I know BK plays Pokken on. I've dabbled with it, but I'm like, nah, like I don't want. The list is just gonna get too long. Let me just focus on 3. So.
Well, I think it also depends on the size of the tournament and how like legit the competition is as well. Like I wouldn't go to EVO to enter some game that I barely play, and it's only got like 32 people.
100%.
Like, yeah. And especially like the Street Fighter 4 tournament, it was like 128 people, and they had something like 10 setups, but it took the entire Sunday because they were so poor at running it. Technically, I could have been doing something else, but I just wanted to see how far I was going to go in that.
Yeah, it's funny. Now that you bring up the gripe with bracket running, like as great as EVO can be, it's a spectacle. They're not perfect. What was like a couple of things that you weren't too happy about? Like I'll kick it off. I know specifically if it was across the board, but for Tekken specifically, they were not updating the bracket like. On the go. It just annoyed me. Like if you're a fan and you're watching, trying to follow your friend from half across the world, it would have been annoying.
That was all across every game. I'm pretty sure it was all paper.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think ever since 2016, because I remember the 2016 I saw photos like just a line of desks, people inputting brackets on the spot.
Yep.
Or like at least afterwards. I didn't see any of that this year, so. That's why, like, I guess they decided to slow it down. I think if ever, like, for EVO to be at that size, they won't ever run, like, brackets off the phone. It's just too hectic. But, Yeah, I wish there was like a dedicated like bracket inputting system, just so like, you know.
Just for that reason.
I can understand that,
people-
but it like even like it like some bracket reporting took too long. Like at the end of the day, when I went back to my hotel and I just wanted to check how what the lineup looked like, some certain brackets hadn't been done. Some certain pools hadn't been done. It actually just annoyed me. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, it should be done at least
Yeah.
by the end. And yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
and I also think like maybe specific to Evo, like it'll always be a problem. I don't know how you can fix it, but the lack of casual setups will always annoy me.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that was actually just like that really turned me off Evo, to be honest. Like I feel
It's
like I've
actually
seen someone.
super normal though.
Yeah, I know
since
it's normal.
I've been so many times. Pretty much, you won't get casuals in unless you go to one of the salty suites, and all the salty suites are invite only. So, like, depending on how much you're gonna play, is like whether or not you know people who are gonna play.
I know it's like considered normal, but like I just don't understand like why it has
even
to be that
Japan's
way
worse.
because like when I went to Combo Breaker, it was like 24-hour venue. There was casuals even when there was top 8s on the Sunday. Like the casual setups were still there. So that was like if someone like that's traveling like 20 hours, like thousands of dollars, it's kind of like not. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels like shit when you're like
100%. I agree with you. I'm
yeah,
like, if you're an international, and I'm like, how often am I going to get to play international players? So aside from the tournament, like, which isn't going to last the whole trip, where can I get some games in? That's going to be your second priority.
Like, imagine like if I didn't like obviously I didn't, but like imagine I just went like 0-2 at Evo. Like that'd be my whole Injustice. I probably played like 1 hour of Injustice, or like probably 1 hour the whole Evo trip. Like that's fucking whack, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think the venue where like Evo is on Saturday and Friday should stay open with casuals, and Sunday just has its normal thing. Like
that's a finances
I don't
issue,
know,
dude. Like it's going to cost a lot of money to keep that place open.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But
I
don't
think
know.
it's also too hard to manage the people as well. There's way too many people, and if you keep it open that long, that you're probably going to have problems.
Yeah, that was my only real gripe with Evo, just the fact that casuals is just almost non-existent. Even like it was kind of there for some games. Like you could kind of get casuals in some games for a little bit, but like at least for NRS too. I know we're like a smaller game and shit, but it just feels like really like discouraging when like I travel that far and like the NRS setups are Injustice 2 and Guilty Gear setups. So like when Injustice 2 was over, I'm like, oh yeah, surely there's like some casuals we can play here. And then it turns out they're running the Guilty Gear tournament on the same setups. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like casuals are like I feel like casuals are one of the best parts about going to a tournament, and the fact that it wasn't really a thing at Evo made me kind of dislike it, to be honest.
Do you guys find that's more of an Evo thing or just a tournament in general? Because I think Combo Break is an anomaly where the Evo event is open 24 hours.
I don't know if it's just an Evo thing, but even if like I don't know, I just feel like there should just be casuals at like almost every tournament. I know it's like a tournament, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Like the thing, like if you guys think that was bad, Evo Japan was worse. Like the fact that only some people like Evo Japan because it was in Tokyo, so you could just go to the arcade, get some games if you're a Tekken player, go to the offline meetups, some sessions where it's public as well. But overall, I think unless Evo is going to like put like a set budget towards that, I think if you're looking for casuals, it's going to be pretty bad. So, like as a spectator, as a fighting game fan, I enjoyed Evo a lot, buy a lot of merchandise. But once you're out of the tournament looking for games, it was really like hard, really hard.
Yeah, it really sucked. I hated that.
Well, you need to know people. So, like, if you're going to go to Evo, you probably want to see if anyone's going to bring a setup and then play with them. For example, like Friday night, we played against the Hong Kong guys, and BK came along. We played like a bunch of sets. But if you're talking about during the day, most of the people are going to be doing tournament stuff or walking around or going to eat and whatever. So there's going to be like very few casuals during the day. It's during the night, basically, when the people play.
Yeah, it just
there
like
was
kind of
actually some setups, like some casual setups, but they were often like the corner.
yeah, I saw
only
them.
came across them a few times.
I just think it's like kind of silly, at least for me. Like, I value like casual so much because it's really where you get better and where you get the experience that that's what we're lacking to do well at like places like Evo. So like going there and not being able to get experience like that, like playing in the tournament is not enough experience to really take away like a lot for the next tournament you travel to. Like it's good experience, but it's not enough where it's like, all right, you just like leveled up a shit ton. So, yeah, I think everyone could disagree. Obviously, more casuals is important. Like we all understand why it's not there, but it just really fucking sucks.
So, in your opinion, combo or breaker is the better experience overall?
Million times
Everyone
better.
tells me that. Yeah, everyone tells me that.
Million times
So,
better.
like, for any of you who haven't been to Evo, maybe
Go combo
if
breaker
you're
first.
go combo break first.
There's a few reasons why. One,
Well,
the
so,
25
are you saying
venue.
that as a player to players or to like spectators?
Bro, I would say it's a both, honestly.
If you're going to America just to watch in only, then yeah, go Evo. But if you're planning on playing like little to some games, I think I want to go combo breaker now, because like Evo is nice and all, but like if I want to go America again, I wouldn't go Evo before going to combo breaker, just because
100%,
I want to
100%.
experience like how other majors do it, or is it really all the same? But I've been told like combo breaker, you'll play till you like drop dead sleeping.
Yeah, legit. Like combo breaker was like better for a few reasons. One, like, it actually felt more like everyone was way more interested in like how every match was happening. I feel like at Evo there was like, people were just like, there's so much happening. Like, there's so much you miss, and like a lot of like matches that just happen and no one really even sees. But I feel like at combo breaker was like there's less people. It felt like a bit more of like a community feel, to be honest. I don't know. Evo obviously did too, but like I felt it more at Combo Breaker, and I felt like even as a spectator, Combo Breaker was like really, really good. But yeah, and the fact that it's not in Vegas, so you don't have to spend $1 million for like the whole weekend. But
Well, that's
so,
on
yeah,
you, man.
yeah, no, that's
That's
facts.
on the individual. But yeah, I've been to Evo now 3 times in a row. I was very close to. Yeah, I wasn't even gonna go, but I got coerced. But I think next on my list, if I go to a tournament, I would really like to go to Combo Breaker or CEO.
Yeah, CEO for me next time for sure.
You haven't been, have you, Som?
Nah, I was considering this year, but it just ended up being Evo because there was more interesting things to go and see otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, you made a whole holiday out of it, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, so this year was
Yeah.
probably my best year in America because I actually did other things.
Mhm.
Like I had a car, I was able to drive around.
Mm-hmm.
Every other year, it's kind of like just the tournament because it's actually really hard to get around in America.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I went to like Grand Canyon and everything. And I didn't pick CEO because of the location, which apparently was really, really crap.
I heard
Like
that
the
a lot,
tournament,
man. I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Like the Florida location is not like outside of the tournament. It's just I heard a lot of bad stuff.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, even still, I would, it's like a spectacle in itself.
I think it's good to
the
like
thing is,
at least try. Sorry, you guys.
with casuals at the tournaments, it really depends on the tournament. Like I've been to a lot of the Asian tournaments, and sometimes you get a lot of casuals, and sometimes you don't. Like Thailand, for example, was really bad. That was like Googie's first one, and there was like no casuals there. But yeah, it depends where you go. Like Japan's really bad for casuals unless you go and do other things. But depends who you're going to play as well. Like, for example, if I go to an American tournament, I'm going to be playing most of the mid-level people because the high-level people don't play casuals at tournaments.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess it's situational.
I think sorry.
Yeah, no, you go, dude.
I think like it should be like we shouldn't be like worried. Like, at least we've all been to Evo now, so we know like what what it's like. But I feel like for people watching that like want to go to a tournament, maybe even a spectator or player, like don't be afraid to go like to another tournament and not go to Evo. Like I feel like you'll enjoy any tournament. I don't know. I feel like CEO, Coin Breaker, Evo, like all three of those are really good options.
So you and BK both went to EVO Japan, yeah?
Yeah, I went.
Okay. Oh, BK, if you could just slightly touch on like the comparisons. Like I know EVO America's been running for ages, so it's like not the most fair comparison, but I know.
All right. So you know how we had the pools in Vegas, right? They were like quite spread out, using what 2 tables, 4 setups, right?
Yep.
So even Japan was more set up like BAM, like very close to BAM, almost exactly where you have long rows of tables.
Yep.
And you just have setups like side by side. So it makes it, and then the gap between the tables were really tiny. So if you have someone playing on a setup and someone playing on a setup behind you, there was almost little to none walkway in between. So that makes it even harder to watch like pools matches, you know? Like if you ask anyone who went to EVO Japan, they'll say, yeah, the layout was exactly like that. Just long tables, you know, very hard to walk through. And how they ran the pools was like you have one setup and every pool was a pool of 8-man pool, right? So you have one bracket runner for each pool. So you like there was probably like 32 bracket runners, right? One station each, running one pool, and that took forever. To go and to find out where you were going next after you make it out of pools wasn't on Smash GG automatically. You would have to ask the bracket runner, and then he will tell you like because you could be in this exhibition hall or the one upstairs. And with the language barrier, it was pretty hard. So you literally just had to point to like numbers on the phone. You know, go this way, up. Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah.
What else? Casuals,
how would you compare it in terms of like the competition?
The competition, like when you go to EVO Japan, you're more mainly playing just the Asian players. Like all the Asian players pretty much would be out there because it's only like, you know, maximum 4 or 5 hour flight, you know, because we fly along the furthest in the Asian region. So any less than that, of course they'll go to Japan. But the general play style, they're way more like conservative compared to Americans, where if they lose, they'll like just lose like in a neat way. Whereas Americans like they'll try like, you know, scam out try a few things before like the round ends and stuff. What else? But yeah, overall there was like only like 4 Americans, I think. F Champ, Justin Wong, Ricky, Smug.
Wow, only 4.
Oh, Alex Myers, 5. Yeah, not many. Like, because it's a long flight for them, I guess. Like, after visiting America, I do like understand why not many Americans fly internationally because America is such a big country as well. Like, flying to another state is like feels like an international flight already, you know. So for them to do it consistently, it's pretty hard.
Consistently, more like once a year.
Yeah, not often.
Well, a lot of the time, it's not even worth it for them to fly. There's so many tournaments in America.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, doesn't Asia have a thing regarding like prize money and whatnot? I think maybe just Japan specifically.
Yeah. Oh, and the crazy thing too, even the local events in America, the reason why they're always on the weekday is because they try to cater around the top players in the area. Because if you have it on the weekend, that's when all the top players are going to majors. So then, like, if the top players won't come, you won't get the smaller players, lesser known players come out as well just to support.
Damn, that's cool.
No,
so then all the locals.
You bring up a good point. Yeah.
So then that's why all the locals are never on weekends, just because you won't get support from top players because they have to travel.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Because I'm like, why is Wednesday night fights on Wednesday? I'm like, there's majors almost every single Saturday or Sunday or weekend or whatever. Yeah.
I literally didn't even realize that until you said it.
You just brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys? I forget how long you guys were in America for. Did any of you guys get a chance to go to any locals beforehand or after?
I think BK, didn't you go to like?
Yeah.
Didn't you go to some?
I landed on Monday, a week early. Landed in SoCal, Los Angeles. Went to their weekly. It was nice and big. Like the thing about SoCal itself, it feels like it's like Melbourne and Sydney combined, where it's so big. Like a 10-minute drive, you know, it feels like in like 2 hours away. You know, just because of the land and like the suburbs. But in terms of locals, like the one I went to, probably like Street Fighter, only like 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
But it still felt like pretty big because you see, like, when I asked them, do they have like casual offline meetings at like personal stuff, or like just like an event where there's no tournaments, just casuals? They're like, nah, it's either online or weekday tournaments.
Oh, okay, so they don't catch up just to play for casuals.
No, none of that. And I was surprised by that. So,
Interesting.
like, yeah, it just shows like how different our scenes are. You know, maybe that's why, because they have so many people, you can't really invite everyone out to your house. You know, but even then, it's just a different culture of how they see like meetups or like fighting games in general.
Did you get that sense, Som? Like, is there a different culture in regards to their meetups and whatnot, or you didn't get a chance to see that?
Well, I went to Super Arcade because I was down there a week earlier. It was actually, I was considering going to the Dropkick event, but it was way too far away.
Yeah.
And I was like on the other side of SoCal at the time. But yeah, in terms of like meetups, I don't think I've ever heard of people having like a open invite meetup in America. It's just kind of like people you know or you play online.
So there's no like equivalent of CCH.
No. Well, the Super Arcade, before the tournament, there was a bunch of people playing casuals. And I got a chance to play Combo Fiend a fair bit because he was there randomly.
Mm-hmm.
But during the tournament, I think no one played any casuals. And there was Commander Jesse there, the Dowson player.
Yeah, I know.
I thought, well, I'll get my chance to play him, but I never got to play him because I lost to two random camis.
Unlucky. Yeah, it's just like to hop on what BK said. Like, place is bigger than you thought. Like when I landed in LA, I'm like, okay, I'm going to Wednesday night fights. It's like 15 minutes away. I'm like, what the hell is this? Why is it so far away? And like, just on a real random note, I don't know if any of you guys got to drive while in LA. Oh my god, it's the worst experience ever.
What, did you go on the freeway?
I went on the 405 or that famous freeway. It's actually a mess. I think I never want to experience that ever again. I think on the way to like on a separate day, on the way to San Diego, I saw 4 car accidents in the space of half an hour.
Oh,
yeah, just
now you're unlucky. I had a good time driving, but you have to drive when it's not busy. That's like the main.
But in LA, that's never. I mean,
oh, at night, we were driving like, you know, just coming home like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. That's why the tournament starts so late too. So their local tournaments never start before 8 p.m.
I know. Well, Wednesday night starts at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because everyone finishes work like 5, and it takes them like a long time to get back. You know, some people want to get home, then go after the tournament, or some people just stuck in traffic that long. So the reason why they make tournament start so late is because they want to include everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was always, because just LA is so big, traffic's a mess. But yeah, driving
it would take you, like less time to get somewhere if there's no traffic, but if there's traffic, it takes you like 2 to 3 hours more.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
We actually drove over a bed that was on the road on the way back.
Fuck.
Yeah. But
yeah, the American scene, there's actually so many casuals in one area. Like, I mean, sorry, so many meetup tournaments. There's like Dropkick. There's another one in SoCal, and then there's Super as well, and Wednesday night fights. So there's like 4 different tournament providers. So there's like a bunch of places people can go play. But for Super, I think everyone went to where did they go? They went to Vegas. So there was only something like 20-ish people. But yeah. Just in general, my feeling is when I go to America, don't really get a lot of casuals against American players.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, it seems like they just come there, do the time, and then like go home, like chill.
I think
it's more.
It's probably because they like get a lot of play like against a lot of players all the time, so they're not really worried about casuals. They've been grinding against heaps of players all the time. They have heaps.
Yeah,
of
but then it's easy to play people. For us, it's like, we need to play you, right?
Yeah,
but it was different when I went to Japan, because I went to Japan like a week earlier, right? I went to the local meetup. You see all like the top players like just playing casually all day, because they want to get the games in. So it sort of shows like you see like Daigo, Fujimura just like 2 setups down next to you, and they're just playing like any other person would. So yeah, it like even then like they know it was EVO Japan, they want to play everyone else. Just maybe different mindset, different culture.
I want to know how much of a factor of it is how good online is over there. I don't know how much either of you got a chance to play your games online, because I know like compared to Australia, the internet connection would be a lot better.
I played online in Japan on Wi-Fi. It was almost flawless. Like the only time it spiked is because Wi-Fi just just random spikes like once every 2 games.
Sorry, man. I'm talking about America.
Yeah, I played in America. I was getting to that.
Okay, go.
And then I played. So the internet speed in America are better in America, but it seems that they have so much ground to cover. It makes it hard, or makes dropouts more often.
Yeah.
Whereas Japan, like I was getting like 30 megs, and that was fine. In America, you were getting like 150 minimum, but you still get way more spikes in Japan. I'm just not sure. Obviously, I was like on Wi-Fi as well, but so it's kind of hard to like judge. But in terms of online play, it was pretty good. Like looking back in Australia, coming back, it takes you like maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes to find a match on rank.
Yeah.
America's like every 5 seconds. Literally, you will never run out of people to play, or you'll never have those moments where I'll go to sleep if I can't find someone in the next 5 minutes. Nah, you won't.
That's crazy. That's one thing I really envy about America, or like even Japan. Like they can just constantly get games all the time.
Obviously, it's like a factor as to why one topic that's always being brought up. What I mean, like we're all seasoned like when in the FGC, but it's always going to be that comparison is like how well can Australia do on the international level. You feel like that's a factor because they have that constant exposure to so many games, all the matchups.
100%. Yeah. 100%. The fact that like there's times where like a lot of the time is, I don't know like if it's for everyone, but at least my experience in NRS is like we're very small. Like it's just a fact. Even internationally, it's not like huge, but there's so much time in Australia. Like, at least when I'm home and stuff, like I'm just like literally dying to play and like dying just to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. I would legit just play like nonstop if I could, but like I'm just sitting here like half the time like no games. I can't get any games. Like I'm like it's like I'm a little like seagull trying to find like one game. Like yeah, so that's just how it feels sometimes. So I think having that potential to play like so many games is like a huge advantage over us by like a long shot, man.
Especially when you play like the smaller games on the like Street Fighter is always big. Like obviously Street Fighter in Australia compared to the America, it's just population size, density wise, it's not as big, but
Street Fighter
like
compared to some other games
injustice compared to Street Fighter in Australia is like even more so. It's going to be tougher for you guys.
Yeah.
But that being said,
I think
that there's like in my opinion, the talent is here. It's just like the exposure, the experience. That's what we're missing.
I agree. I also I brought this up before, but I think like this is again like from NRS standpoint. I think at least maybe for me, because I've actually had the chance to go international and like I've like won tournaments in Australia and stuff. The goal for me is completely different. I feel maybe to other people. So like I really want to like be able to do extremely well overseas. Like I want to be able to like, you know, cause huge upsets and make like a big name for myself overseas. So I'm like I would grind like as hard as like I would grind so much if I could, but I just feel like maybe at least for NRS, there's no one in Australia at the moment that's like really like motivated to like win a tournament or like get really 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 good. And I think that might be holding like all of us back a little bit. I don't know though. That's just how it feels for me at least.
Yeah, I had that like opinion before until I watched like I saw this documentary on Leffen and like how he got so good. So he like in his area, right? He didn't have like anyone strong, so he every time he goes to play casual or a tournament, right, he has this mindset if he drops like one game, you know, he loses the tournament against those type of players game. So he always has that inbuilt like extra requirements when he plays, just so he can still like learn from playing locals, because it's when you don't have a local scene is when it gets really hard. But if you still do, you can sort of make ways around it, you know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with BK because I think
I see that.
No, just one small example of that is you know, Tekken Master, obviously. Like I've heard his scene is ridiculously small. It's like I know exactly how many. I've heard it's like 2 people, and yet he somehow managed to get to the grand finals with Sonic Fox like 2 EVOs ago. Yeah, it's just...
Thing is, his scene is very very small, but we as NRS at least are very lucky to have the netcode that we have.
Okay.
So
you get,
he has like,
even
though he's like really offline, his offline scene is really really small, but there is a few strong players at least that he can play online with, which have trained him up. But like, obviously he's just like really fucking talented, like obviously. But yeah, I don't know how he did that. I really don't know how he got so good. But yeah, obviously like having a small scene is a huge setback, but he did it somehow. So like, there's not really an excuse. But at least it's from my perspective. I just want to be able to grind like really hard with someone, like have that training partner that like just legit like wants the same thing as me, I guess. But that's kind of like a selfish way to look at it.
No, that works. Like that's how I got good in Street Fighter when it first came out. I just play with DD, so like
that was the same thing I did with like Blake when MKX, like we were on the come up, like we went to like one tournament together and like we both like we did alright, but we didn't do that good, and then we like didn't stop playing together like nonstop every day until we eventually like were in grand finals and stuff. So I don't know, just having that training partner and stuff like that really want like the same thing as you do, it's like it's really motivating. And yeah.
Well, even though Street Fighter is like the bigger game in Australia, I haven't had anyone like that in Melbourne. So I basically just play competitively online. When we have the meetups at CCH, it's basically just casuals, and no one's like taking it super seriously. So a lot of the time, I'm playing different characters or not even playing the game. So, like for Street Fighter 5, for nearly the entire lifespan, all I've done is play online. So I'm kind of lucky that there's people that play online.
Oh yeah, that was the thing too. I was gonna mention, if I always thought that if Australia was one state in one whole state, I think we'll do way definitely better.
Come again?
Just because if the whole of Australia was in one state, like all the FGC players were in one state, I think that would make a huge difference. Yeah,
that's so true. Because it'd be like, when you think about how many players there is as a whole, it's actually like pretty decent size. It's the fact that we're all split up, like, and online's, our connection's like pretty bad. It like holds us back from all playing together properly.
Because you see people like in Hong Kong, right, or Singapore, like the furthest distance from one player to another in that same country is like an hour's drive, 2 hours drive. Whereas us is like, you know, a 4-hour plane ride. You know, it sucks. Like.
Yeah, it's just I think you just got to deal with that, man. The population, like Australia's big, but it's just our population size isn't. So that's just one of the things we have to deal with. Like if you want it bad enough, and obviously you have to equate real life, as a factor. Not everyone can make one weekend. Not everyone can fly up to YSB just to grind with this so and so. If you're from Melbourne, you can't do the alternative. If you're in Sydney, you can't come to Melbourne to train with the best players. It's just not always an alternative. So just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, we really just have to make like the real best of what we have, and take we need to really take advantage of what we have, even though it's not obviously it's not the best compared to other scenes, but every scene could say the same thing comparing to America or something like that. So yeah, I think at least for me going into the next year or so, I'm really just gonna reconsider how to train and prepare and stuff, because I think I just did it wrong, and I think I fucked up just the way I trained and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have a real good think about how to do the best of with what we have for next year and stuff.
So I want to segue into the. Sorry, what do you just want to say, BK, before?
Oh no, nothing.
Yeah,
I was just agreeing with Baz.
Yeah, I just want to segue into finals day, top 8s of the games we follow. We can start with Street Fighter. What do you guys thoughts on that? I know some of you must have been happy with the result.
It was good. It's kind of funny because online there was this huge narrative that the Street Fighter 5 finals was not hype, but I don't know. I was there for Tekken, Dragon Ball, and Street Fighter 5.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there was even more hype going on for Street Fighter 5. Some matches for Tekken, but for Dragon Ball, most of the matches up until top 3, there was barely any excitement. Right,
I will slightly agree with you. I kind of fell asleep during some of the matches. I will not lie. I think Waz is a witness to that.
Yeah, I've actually got a photo of
it. The thing I hate watching in Dragon Ball is when one guy tries to make a comeback without sparking against 3 characters.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go sleep, man.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's so
even
rare.
if he pulls it off, it's gonna take forever,
That's the thing, right? There was only one comeback in the entire, 2 comebacks, one from Sonic Fox, but it was pretty much whoever was winning,
mm-hmm.
right? Nearly every single Dragon Ball match up until the finals. So it wasn't super interesting. But Dragon Ball got huge numbers. So I don't know. But inside the actual venue, it's just some cool things are happening for Dragon Ball, but it didn't feel as hype as even Tekken. I was there for Tekken, and Tekken was pretty hype when the Panda was winning.
The narrative with Dragon Balls is always going to be America versus Japan, and in the finals,
it's always going to be Goichi Sonic Fox,
and that's the second narrative. And there were only three Americans from memory: Sonic Fox, Super Noon,
there's only 2,
and Nokami.
Oh, no. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think maybe the reason why everyone's so excited is Sonic Fox was winning, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
Mm.
For Street Fighter, I don't know. It felt like a lot of people were cheering for the outcome. Yeah, and especially when the trailers dropped and everything, everyone was going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even for a simple thing as Sagat and G being out the next day, everyone just popped off real hard.
That's so insane.
What do you?
Yeah, and I was surprised about the Tekken announcement being Negan, because I usually Walking Dead.
Oh, we're gonna see you give Tekken a try some.
It's funny. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. But there's so many people that I talk to don't even know who that character is, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was.
I think for every person who doesn't know who Negan is, there's an equal amount that do, and they're gonna be like, all right, I need to go buy Tekken now, or at least tune in.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. Tekken's got really cool guest characters, like Noctis, for example. He's really cool.
Yeah.
The only reason why I don't play is I just can't be bothered doing the Korean backdash on the stick.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I was going to pick up Tekken, I wouldn't play stick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much effort for me. So I'm I'd play hitbox or pad or something.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. But Just a random question. Please explain the fascination behind Sagat, like the hype for Sagat, because just as someone who doesn't play Street Fighter, I mean, would people have been as hyped for Sagat if he was like released season 1 or season 2?
I don't think so.
No. If he was in season 1, there wouldn't have been as hype. No way.
Well, yeah, I don't know about like the fascination with Sagat. I think it's just because he was like one of the original characters.
Okay.
So it's kind of like if you deprived everyone of Akuma up until now, they would have gone crazy as well.
And this is a pretty ignorant view because obviously I'm not versed in Street Fighter, but when I am playing, I do remember the Zangief Sagat matchup, and it's not fun. And you can pretty much zone him out for days, and I'm just like, why are people hype for this?
He still does that.
Why are people hype for this zoning character? And I'm just like, is it just because he's a legacy character, and they put him in just for the last minute?
He's kind of like the return to the previous style of Street Fighter. So there's not a lot of zoning characters in the game. So Sagat's like the epitome of a fireball uppercut character.
Yeah.
So it's like people are excited for that. Like a lot of the legacy
he's like
players.
He's like traditional Street Fighter.
Okay, interesting. So the reveal was good for Street Fighter. G is a completely new character. So, what were your thoughts on? Have you guys had a chance to play him at all?
I didn't get the chance to play G. I played Sagat actually, but G is actually pretty close to like not extremely close, but he's got like a lot of things that are like Q from like Third Strike. So they kind of like gave him like a shout out, I guess, with G. He has a lot of similar moves and like they kind of play a little similar, I'm pretty sure. So it's kind of like he's like a new character, but he has a lot of Qs like tools sort of. So I don't think he's like it's completely like new. He even has like a Q costume and everything. So they really like kind of made G like a tribute to Q, I guess. But there's been a lot of like interest in these two characters already, like on streams. Like, the numbers I've seen for some streamers have been like pretty high compared to how they normally were. So people are definitely interested in the characters.
Well, yeah, I thought G was going to be a joke character when I first saw him, like on the roster. I thought he was just going to be like a Dan, but then they actually made him pretty legit. And also like the design's really cool. I think he's a really cool character, but I probably won't play him because he's like 0 defense. So it's just kind of like you got to run over an opponent, or you're kind of screwed.
Okay.
Well, I've been playing G. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was playing G as soon as I got back. Just because maybe you could cover some bad matchups of urine. One thing I do have found out is that G rapes Fang pretty badly. Does okay against Guile, but still struggles against like Kami, Akuma. Or Akuma, I'm not sure yet, but he does have tools against that. So the way G as a character was made, I think he was made like Q, but given a command grab. Because when you give a command grab character with a fireball, you open up so many different play styles, and it really anyone will agree with you. If they gave G a free frame, he'll be broken. If they gave him a DP, he'll be broken. So I think that was the only way to release a character like that, but still make him fair.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really strong offensively, but he's also like one of the weakest characters in the game defensively. And the reason why I wouldn't pick him is because like Bison's defense is already not good. So like the only characters he loses to are the really offensive characters. So it's like, why would I pick a character that's just gonna lose the same way?
Same matchup, yeah.
Yep.
Did you guys have any thoughts on Street Fighter Top 8 specifically? Were you guys surprised by the Top 8?
I think it was better than the first year of Street Fighter.
Okay.
I think the previous year Street Fighter 5 was still one of the best Top 8s just because the Kyoto coming back when Punk like beat him so convincingly. That was pretty good. This
he had
year's
a couple
Top 8
of names that, like I got a fair idea of like who might make it, who might not. You had the cool kid there, which was surprising just on my behalf. I'm not taking away anything from him.
Luffy,
Yeah.
Luffy made it back into top 8
Yeah.
after like a long time
So
of not
Kaba
making
there
it.
as well.
Oh yeah, Kaba for
Oh,
sure.
Oh,
He was
dude,
like
Kaba played
he's
so
really good.
good the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this match versus Daigo.
Yeah.
crazy, huh?
It was really good. And then I think he beat like, if you saw his off-stream matches, it was really wild. Like he played out of his mind.
Yeah, he's
I
so
think-
good, man.
I think his guy was better than Knuckle Boots for sure.
Oh, really? That's a big
Yeah,
statement.
I would
I
say that.
think so.
I would say that.
I think also just the fact that there was no Camis in top 8. Even though everyone's crying about Cami, like obviously she's really fucking good, but there was none in top 8. So,
Well, I think that's because all the top players at the highest level have characters or counter picks to deal with Cammy, so they're not like
yeah,
exposed to it. For example, like I was talking to Problem X and a few of the other guys about how like
Abigail,
Bison
right?
gets destroyed by Cammy, and it's like, yeah, well, in a long set you can definitely fight a Cammy, but in a short tournament set, like a 1st to 2, she controls everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like a character like Abigail is needed. Because like
Yeah.
Abigail puts the fear in them, and they no longer control it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's Ibukis, Akumas, Giles, and stuff like that. All pretty much not so bad against Cammy. Same as Mika. So when you look at like why Cammy didn't make the top 8, it's just because there's all these characters that can fight her, whereas she's rolling over all the characters that can't fight her before then.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I just think it was good to see that she wasn't there, like just because she's actually been in like every top 8 of the whole year pretty much until now. So it was good to see like her not being there for at least entertainment purposes.
Were you guys surprised at Problem X's ability to come back after Takeda reset? Because
Not really, to be honest. He's always had really like good composure. I feel. He's been playing for a really long time. I wasn't like too surprised that that it was really close because I feel like the reset wasn't like super convincing either. I feel like it was always like pretty close.
because just to recap, the reset was 3-2 Takeda, and then Problem took it
Yeah,
3-0.
yeah,
When Problem lost that, it was because Problem was trying to like rush it and close it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely didn't look like he was getting downloaded. It's just kind of like, oh, he really wants to end it, and Takeda was putting up more of a fight.
Yeah.
But I'd say definitely Takeda was way more nervous than Problem was, because there's a lot of stuff that Akuma can do against Bison, but because of the situation and when Problem chose to do things, it put a lot of fear in Takeda.
Interesting.
Like a lot of the stuff that worked on Takedo is not like it's going to work against, everyone and in every situation. Like Akuma can answer a lot of the doubles reverses and stuff like that. There's like one particular situation where Problem did EX head stomp, and then Takedo activated V trigger. He dashed back once, and Problem did the EX devil's reverse. And what Akuma can do then is just DP because it's free. But then Takedo backdashed another time and died because of it.
Yeah.
It was like super random that he did that.
it must like just being on that stage and like obviously he's been there a few times, but trying to win back-to-back EVOs and all of that, you'd be like so nervous. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, that was Street Fighter. I think it's good. Good, like just from a spectator point of view, the Problem won. Bison, he's from the EU as well.
Yeah.
You had
His
sure.
interview,
It was
he said
sure.
that, he said in his interview that hopefully it inspires people that it can be done, and like he won with a character that's only a good character, not like the S tiers, like everyone's saying that you have to play. So he's like super happy with how he did. And I was also playing him like on the Friday and getting in a bunch of casuals with him. So I'm like super happy that he won.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, that was EVO. I think for the most part, pretty positive. Nothing too negative. Well, definitely my only thing was my only thing is like it's always going to be a thing with EVO. It's just the casuals and just the layout of the finals. Like I prefer the center stage where the the matches are done in the center. But that's just me.
Yeah, it gives more like options for people.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like this compared to this year, right? You had to get the floor
Mm-hmm.
to get the best view.
Yeah.
Whereas other like previous years, you have more options. Like
Yeah, this year
Fair enough.
I was sitting on the ground floor, and if I didn't have those seats, I'm sure I wouldn't have enjoyed it so much. Like the nosebleed seats and general access, I wouldn't have paid for them.
Like they weren't that bad. I was like of the mind that it was going to be the same setup, but it wasn't because there's enough. Even still, like the screens were big enough that you could see. It's just I prefer the. You know,
I
you
could
get
imagine the middle
a
stage
better
being better.
view when this the main stage is in the center. Simple as that. It just looks better. I don't know why they
Yeah.
changed it.
Well, we were lucky because the ground seats we were at it was in the center,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
we had like the perfect view. And I also figured out how to sneak people in.
Well, pretty much. Well, I don't know what way you're talking about. Then all you had to do for anyone who didn't get a ticket is just wait till Smash was over and get a ticket from one of the guys leaving.
No.
Yeah.
So I figured out that it's because I had 2 tickets on my phone, right?
Yeah.
It was me and my missus.
Yeah.
And I left and came back so many times.
Mm-hmm.
All they were doing was looking at the fact that I had 2.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, oh, okay. They're
didn't
not
scan
scanning
it?
it, right?
Because
No.
they scanned it for us,
No.
100%. I'm not sure about you two.
They were just
when
looking
you
at it.
get inside, when you get inside already, like there's another person that checks to get on the floor.
Oh, at the floor part.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So anyone that was already in there,
Mm-hmm. You could have
ended up
snapped them
smuggling
onto the
2
ground
people.
floor. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I know.
So we filled a row full of people.
That's awesome. See, I've done the ground floor. I've actually done like first row of the ground floor where we were right next to the stage, and it's nice, but it also has its detriments.
Too close.
Like it's too close, and I don't mind the nosebleeds because you get a view of the arena, but you don't want to be too far back. I got some nice pictures.
Yeah, I felt like I was kind of too far back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
alright when everyone was there. It was like pretty cool,
Mm,
but yeah, it kind of felt like I was a bit too far back.
mm,
But it was still cool, cool
yeah.
experience to see like fighting games on such a stage, like with that many people watching. It's kind of surreal at first.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
But just to cover up on the negative that everyone's saying is no casuals,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would put EVO as the time to go and test your skill, like for that year,
100%.
to go, how am I going to do?
Yeah, 100%.
Then base everything off that for how you're going to train.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like really good to see what level you're at, because a lot of the other tournaments, right, you might lose in the tournament, but you'll play enough casuals that you'll be happy with your experience and go like,
Mm-hmm.
well, at least I got to play all these people, and you know, it's not too bad that I lost. Whereas in EVO, when you lose, you go, oh man, that was like the biggest thing, and this is how I lost, and it kind of like really sticks to you.
Yeah.
Like you'll definitely remember how you lost at EVO.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I've been seeing it every night. Been seeing it every night.
I haven't forgotten, dude. See, the worst part about me losing was I had to play a New Zealand dude.
Oh, what?
That
Yeah, I
sucks
played
so
Blackout from New Zealand, and it was close. I know he last game was close, and I'm just like, man, I wouldn't mind losing to anyone else, but like I wanted to play in international. But yeah,
Yeah.
for those that don't know, like I had a name change leading up to EVO for various reasons I won't really get into. I lost a bet. So and because of that, I lost all seeding points I would have gotten because I've did pretty well previous years, and it just kind of screwed me over brackets wise. Yeah, lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Freaking hell. But yeah. Aside from those things, EVO was pretty great. But yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, I liked it.
As a spectacle, it's good, but like some said, to test yourself is probably the tournament you want to go to. But if you want more games in and like grinding, probably go to another major like Combo Breaker.
Yep.
Yeah,
Agreed,
because I get that feeling too, where like, for example, BAM this year, right? Like I didn't care about playing casual at all. Like I knew like my level, you know, I just wanted to see how far I go.
Mm-hmm.
But like it just depends on what kind of level you're at as a player.
Mm-hmm.
to try to understand what you want to take most about the experience or the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Because going into BAM, like, I didn't care about playing casual at all. Like, you know.
Yeah, me too. I like barely played at
Yeah.
all.
I think individually for all four of us going to EVO would have been different because, like Taz said, like NRS wise, he hasn't had that exposure, so he's just like, you know, as well as wanting to see where he's at, he wants the experience. And, like, or like, I forget how many times you said you've been BK.
Nah, that was my first.
Oh, this was your first time. Oh, okay. So as well as wanting to prove yourself, you would have wanted to like grind as well. So
yeah.
Well, I tell you, for BAM and OHN and all the locals that we have internationals come to, they're generally like some of the world-class internationals, right?
Yeah.
So when you lose to them, you're just like, oh, that was close. You know, I'm really happy about, you know, the show that I put on. Or if you beat one of them, but there's multiple, you go, well, at least I beat one of the internationals, yeah. But when you go to something like EVO and you lose to a Johnny Donuts player that's like a nobody, right? And he's never appeared on stream, you just be like, oh, wow, I'm actually like got a lot more flaws than I thought. Because you don't get to play those people, and it's like there are really good players out there that probably can beat you, but you've only ever played the dudes in Australia and the best in the world, right? So it's like to win something like EVO, you need to go through literally everyone, and you need to go through multiple people that are the best, and also multiple people that are really good, and it's like it's very difficult to do that. So that's the thing. Like when you go and lose a BAM, you go, well, at least I only lost to Keto, for example. But it's like, yeah, but if you went somewhere else, someone else would have beaten you. No?
Yeah.
I was telling one of the boys, like, the actual path to win a tournament like EVO is actually ridiculous because
it's insane.
You could play someone who you know you're better than, but for that 5 minutes, you have to play better than them. Otherwise, you know, you find yourself in the loser's pool or going home.
Yeah, you got to be at a level where even your average is better than their best.
100%.
So true.
Well, yeah. Anything else you guys wanted to bring up? Oh, that's pretty much it.
I think that's pretty much it for me, at least.
I just want to preface that there's so much to do at EVO. There's just not enough time to do everything. I would have loved to have taken it like maybe 2 or 3 hours to just go and shop. Like the artist alley was pretty sick. But
there was heaps of stuff.
But Tekken wise, we actually had too many people going on that I always just went to watch something. And when a match wasn't going on there, I went to watch Street Fighter or Dragon Balls. But yeah, there was so much to do at EVO that I actually didn't watch anything up to top 8. Right, really?
Like none of them. So
same.
Watched 0 of the matches going on. I also watched very few of the pool matches as well. It's like I was just walking around talking to people or trying to buy stuff, or you know, there was just always something that I was doing that I barely watched anything of the tournament. So I actually got to go back and watch the entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to do that.
Dude, I was trying to watch heaps of off-stream matches, like of Street Fighter, like when it was like around the top like 16-ish area. It was like literally impossible. Like there was like 50 people around each station. I was like, this is insane.
Because
man.
I was saying to one of the boys, like, this is one of those moments where you want to be at home, so especially if you like different games, because I have like 4 different Twitch windows open up. But at the same time, it's not, because you know you miss all the off-stream matches.
Yep.
So yeah, I think like one thing I'd like to see down the track, even though it's probably not viable financially or just because of space and time, is like multiple streams for like one game. It's just there's so much happening. But,
that would be cool. Yeah, it's really hard to do.
Probably hard to do.
I just want to actually bring up. It was pretty disappointing to see that Injustice's like top 48 to top 8 didn't get streams.
Yeah.
Which was kind of ridiculous. I forgot to mention that actually.
Yeah, that was.
That actually
isn't it sponsored by IPS?
Yeah, it's like IPS. Like people, like 3 people in there got their first EVO medal. Like, and then it's like you had to find out who made top 8 by watching like someone's phone stream on Twitch. Like,
yeah, it was
like,
actually very
it's like
sad.
the biggest fighting game tournament of the whole year for the game. And seeing it go out, like seeing that happen for it is like it's kind of a joke, to be honest. Like, that's just like a big fuck you to NRS. That's what it felt like. It's like it got replaced for what Tekken round 1 pools because Harada was playing. Like, okay, thank you, Harada.
Yeah, look,
So,
I'm not gonna lie with
did
you.
they have
Matt,
their own dedicated stream?
Huh?
Did they have their own Never stream going?
No, like
I know there's
every
sometimes-
single game at EVO was under an EVO stream, like from 1 to 5. So yeah, and there were too many games on because they did the whole thing of like all these side tournaments they had announced. They want to do top 8s for them. So I think,
Yeah.
and a lot of that was around the same time where a good portion of Injustice top 16 or 32 was happening. So it's just unfortunate.
So it actually is like insane that like you can even say that. It's like
I know.
how like Injustice 2 is like, even though it's not the biggest game, it had like almost 400 entrants. It's IPS. It's like there's no narrative now. Like when you look at EVO, it's just like, you have to make like, you only just see who made top 8 by like seeing it on Twitter or like watching a phone stream, not seeing all these crazy hard matches.
Yeah,
and it's like they were literally like the matches. I watched like all of the matches, and they were literally like some of the best matches I've ever seen, like, for NRS, like ever. So the fact that it wasn't streamed and like all the viewer hype wasn't there was like, oh man, it's a big that just made me like, because every year I always see like NRS are like, oh, EVO, man, like this year was like so bad for NRS, and then like that happened this year. I'm like, it's like, fuck, man, is this how it is? This is how it is. But either way, it was still a good tournament. It was fun. But
well, at least it didn't go the Marvel route, man. At least it was there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's EVO for me, man.
Yep. Do you guys think you'll go next year? Just a random question. Or you don't know?
No. Look. Like
you're going next year.
One out of like a million chance I go next year. Something random. Like I already said to like some of the Tekken boys, I'll plan to go because I've been in the FGC a long time now, and it's just I can't keep traveling all the time, and like I'm more on the organization side of things now. But I did say to Jono, B-Boy Phoenix, that I'll go 2 years from now as like a kind of like a final hurrah, and to actually like train and do it properly from a player's point of view. So I can 95% say that I won't be there next year, but I'm not ruling anything out. But I'll 100% be there 2 years from now.
All right.
Yeah.
Just to keep the conversation going, future tournaments. What's everyone doing this year? For the rest of the year?
What you guys got on the radar?
I got Red Bull in November. I think that will probably be my last Street Fighter tournament.
Is that international?
Yeah, in France.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, I think that will be my last major one.
You're not going to MEO?
No, I'm not going to that.
It's too last minute, man. It's nice that's happening, but it came together like too last minute. So
it's hard to take off work like
so much,
it didn't so much unless you like on a casual. So it's like you have to give good reasons, but then like, do they still want to like? You might lose your job when you come back to
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. It's like the sacrifice you have to make. You have to decide. Like, I could have went to CEO, Common Breaker, and EVO, but I literally would have basically lost my job if I did that. So I had to sacrifice one of them.
So you got Red Bull, BK.
Yeah.
You thinking going to EVO Japan next year?
Oh, I have a good mate in that area. He said, okay, but like, I just like Tokyo in general because food, arcades. There's so much more things you can enjoy besides the tournament. You know, like, and I looked it up from Tokyo to EVO Japan.
Dude,
like
it's a long way.
Bullet train.
It's a long way.
Yeah. Like, if it's less than 4 hours, maybe, but like a 6-hour bullet train is pretty rough. I'm still thinking about that, but who knows? I might pick up another game more seriously. We'll see how the patch goes.
I'll see you in Soul Calibur, mate.
Oh yeah, mate.
Mate,
you got nothing on my Mitsu, bro.
Mate, just wait for my Astaroth.
I got Demolition Man. Yeah.
What you got on the radar for upcoming tournaments?
I got CG this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, kind of looking to take a bit of a break.
Yeah.
I've traveled a lot this year, but
Mm-hmm.
not to like super interesting places.
Yeah.
For me, it was like I'm going to Sydney every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm totally over traveling.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of running low on leave as well.
Mm-hmm. Like, just to wrap up, now that you bring it up, I just wanted to touch on, because like all three of you, well, two of you, and maybe could have been three, like, were part of the Gfinity experience. Give us your thoughts on how that was. Positive, negative. Feel free to let it rip.
I'll go first because I probably have to go soon.
Yeah.
My phone's on music charge.
Okay. All right.
And
All right. We'll end it with this.
Yeah, because my earphones can't charge the same time.
Mm.
Yeah, the way I see Gfinity, it is like a good free chance just to come out, get your name out there, win some money free.
Mm-hmm.
The bad sides of it does take up a lot of your time. It could take up your whole weekend, could take up like every Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the format wasn't like done correctly or in the best way to show true competition.
Yep.
Show a bit. So then it does feel a bit more like a game show. Just going out there doing your thing, and like, because you can't really, no one can really take the results seriously, but it does give like something for people to talk about, makes the scene high, makes people play again. So it is like, it has its up and down.
So you want them to change the format next if they do it again?
Just make it last a bit longer. It doesn't have to be like a proper like long set, or like, just make it so then.
What was the format for those that don't know?
So it's a first to four
mm-hmm.
team format where it's player based matchup. So play A versus play A, then play B versus play B.
Yeah.
And then after the first three players play like once, you can it can be different depending on what you select pre-hand, which is pretty dumb because you can't really counter pick. You just have to submit an order beforehand
mm-hmm.
and hope it works out in your favor. Whereas traditional team tournaments, you can send up another player depending on if that guy has a good matchup against you or record.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more strategy.
Mm-hmm.
This way, it's more like, all right, I'm sending Abby up, and then next I'll send Waz up,
mm-hmm.
but I don't even know who my opponents could be.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes no sense.
Okay.
Anyway, that's from me.
Yeah.
And it was 1-1 as well, each match.
Yeah.
Son, you want to finalize your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's mixed feelings about it because like it's good to get exposure for Street Fighter, and it's good that there's stuff on. But if you're not in Sydney, I can't see it like being worth everyone's time.
mm-hmm.
Like, it's very difficult to justify taking potentially 7 weeks off every weekend, right?
Yeah.
I was flying in a lot of the time on the same day as well, like flying in, flying back on the same day, and it felt like I never had a break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it basically turned into work,
yeah.
And it was because of the strategy, like the lack of strategy. It was just always like feeling nervous about it, and like, and when you got up there and you played, it was really weird because like you could win both your matches and then your team would lose, right? It was it didn't feel like why I play Street Fighter or why I even play fighting games. It's like it felt like it's a totally different thing, but I felt like obligated to be in it because if I'm not in it, I'm missing out.
Mm-hmm. So it just
I mean,
felt
I
like a big spectacle.
You just have to kind of like put it in a different light in your mind that it's just a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely prefer normal tournaments because it's like everything's on me. The format is like even 1-2 is kind of like punishing, but like 1-1 is extremely punishing. Especially if you're flying to do it, right? Like if I'm doing a team tournament, it's usually because it's a side thing.
Yeah.
Like if it's I never never enter a team tournament as my main goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it's almost like, well, it didn't do too well in team tournament. It doesn't matter, but I was actually there for the singles, right?
Yep.
Stuff like that. And usually with the team tournaments, you can have an anchor situation where like someone who's playing really well can manage to make hype comebacks and stuff like that. Whereas it's like the way that they set up the anchor in this is just like you have to just announce them beforehand. So there's like absolutely no strategy towards, you know, counter picking or putting up someone that's going to put up a good fight. It's just kind of like you just have to choose who you think your strongest player is and put them there.
Interesting. Sounds like there was a lot more cons than pros, but or probably an equal amount. But like, I guess, kind of worth it for the experience. Somewhat.
Well, I've been around for a long time, so I've done like esportsy things before because I've been competing in like Quake and stuff since 2002. So like I've seen all the different things, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing for like new players to get into the scene.
Yeah.
But it's very weird because it's all very self-contained, and the way they promote things is like you know, it makes sense, but it's also like as if it's not part of the FGC.
Yeah.
Like there's no mention of other things or other tournaments. Like when they promote themselves, they say it's the Street Fighter Championships, you know?
Okay.
It's kind of like as if it's completely its own thing. And yeah, it's odd in that way because it's cool for players to get noticed and stuff, but getting noticed in a first to one scenario is just like, you know, is it really that legit? Because what if you do get sponsors from this and then you go to the normal tournaments and you don't do so well, right?
Yeah, that puts a lot of pressure on you. Yeah. Seems like they need to change the tournament, the format around. So if they
I talked to like Infectious and Problem X about it, and they have Gfinity going on, and it's just kind of like you have to just treat it as a totally separate thing. Like it's a competition, but you got to set your expectations lower about like your performance, and I guess it's more of like a showing yourself off, right? Like, and showing what you can do. But the way I play is not. I don't pick characters that are like flashy and about mix-ups and stuff like that. So if I'm in that kind of format, my character is actually pretty trash.
Yeah.
And I'm just having to deal with everyone, you know, trying to go extremely YOLO on me, and yeah, it's very stressful.
Understandable. Yeah, it's just I trying to tune in when I could, but from the most part, what I was hearing, the format wasn't the best, like to suit actual FGC mentalities and whatnot. So yeah. Nice.
It was fun to watch, though. It actually was really fun to watch.
Well, that's why I think it's good because like it gets people into the game that might not be. Like a lot of the people from other games got invested in what was going on, and Street Fighter 5 ended up being like the most watched in terms of like people being in the venue. Like a lot of the other games, people just left when they finished. Whereas like a lot of the people would hang around and be involved in what's going on. So that was like cool to see. And I like for all the differences in the format, it is what it is, and maybe it doesn't need to change. Maybe it can just be its own thing and be good for the FGC and that kind of thing. Like we do have our normal tournaments. Yeah, we do have a normal tournament, so you can test your individual skill in those, and then you can go do the exhibition thing, right? Like, it probably will work out a bit better for me when I got a chance to pick up my my secondary character, because that's one of the learnings I took from EVO, that I need a secondary character to deal with some of the stronger characters. Like Bison can fight most characters, but not in tournament, right? Like when it comes down to Cammy in the first to two, I need a secondary character. So hopefully for the next Gfinity season, I'll be ready with my secondary, and then people can be really scared of me instead.
I look forward to seeing that. I think we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. We'll cover most of the EVO stuff, and we're at that 2-hour mark.
Yep.
Pretty much wrapped up what you guys are doing in the future. So, There's one small question in the chat. Someone wants to know who you're picking up some as your secondary.
Right now, it's probably looking like Abigail.
Abigail? Okay, right. There you go.
If
yeah.
not him, then maybe Akuma.
Okay.
But someone who can fight Cammy and Boxer, because those two characters are really annoying for me.
No worries. Thanks for that answer. Hope you're happy, Dread. All right, we're gonna call it there, guys. Just so the people know where they can find you. On social medias, Twitter. I assume you all have. Where can the people find you, Somniac?
At Somniacs. Just basically in the retweet that they probably are watching this from.
Yeah, just with the S on the end.
Yep.
Waz, where can the people find you?
On Twitter and Twitch, just Wazmeta. I'm streaming like almost every day at the moment, Dragon Ball. So
Check this
if you guys are interested in that, check it out. And I think BK's mic's off, but
yeah, his mic's off. But the people can find him at BKSama. Pretty much is just his name, BKSama. Yeah.
Yep.
No worries. Thanks for being on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. That was good talk. Got a lot of stuff about EVO and everything. It was a good recap, I think.
Yeah.
And
definitely recommend it to anyone who's never been, just for once, for the spectacle of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cheers for being on, guys. Thanks for being on. Hope to have you on soon. Hope you have a good night.
Peace.
Cheers. See ya.
Catch you later.